Story 1. Earlier this year, scientists made a major breakthrough toward a cure for blindness, but the news was overshadowed by headlines about the virus. Story 2. Crows and ravens love to play in the snow. One of their favorite activities is rolling down hills. Story 3. In Switzerland, it is illegal to own a single guinea pig because they are very social animals. Owning just one is considered animal abuse. Story 4. All those embarrassing, cringe-worthy memories that flood your mind when you least expect them. Nobody else remembers them. Every one of us has them. It is part of the complicated process called living. While you are busy remembering yours, everyone else is remembering theirs. It is in the past. Nothing you can do right now can make it any better. Take it as a lesson and gain experience. Story 5. About 65% of the aluminum in the United States is recycled. Each minute, an average of 123,097 aluminum cans are recycled. People in the United States recycle 2 out of every 3 aluminum cans they use. The average aluminum can contains more than 50% post-consumer recycled aluminum. It is just aluminum, but this shows that we can, as a society, recycle more than half of the products we use and start keeping the world clean. A push toward renewable energy would also help. Story 6. Bees take naps in flowers. It's okay to need a rest. Even busy ones do. Story 7. If you make it to the airport without dying, you have already passed the deadliest part of air travel. Story 8. Swedish blood donors receive a text message whenever their blood is used to help someone. Story 9. All of the cardigans Mr. Rogers wore on camera were knit by his mother. Story 10. Your body is home to a unique ecosystem, the human gut. It may sound gross, but billions of tiny organisms living inside you help digest food, eliminate waste, and neutralize natural toxins in what you eat. If you ever feel as if you are useless or that your existence means nothing, that is not true. You are essential to your gut flora. Story 11. Goldfish can recognize their owners. Damn, he has been watching you this whole time, and you did not even know. Story 12. There is a volunteer organization called No One Dies Alone. If you are at Sacred Heart's Medical Center and are terminally ill, you can request a companion. A volunteer can sit with you, talk with you, or hold your hand. Volunteers make sure someone is there with you. Other hospitals offer this program as well. Story 13. In dog and wolf movies that use real-life canine actors, editors sometimes have to add computer-generated imagery tails because the dogs cannot stop wagging their tails when they are happy. Story 14. Otters hold each other's hands when they sleep, so their mate won't drift away. Story 15. After nearly 2 years, the Democratic Republic of the Congo finally declared the end of its Ebola outbreak. I am aware of the new outbreak that began at the start of this month, but it is still comforting that one outbreak has ended. Story 16. Dogs make cute little sneezing sounds to tell you they are playing and not fighting. Story 17. Jupiter's gravitational mass is so immense that modern science believes it has been protecting us from meteors for millions of years. Story 18. It is highly likely your pet dreams of you during sleep. I cannot find the exact article I read, but an article explains that most animals dream about things they do during the day. You are such a large, loving part of their life that it makes sense they would dream of you. Story 19. Stan Lee began creating the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and others at around 40. So even if you think you cannot get anything out of life, you can still push yourself creatively and leave a lasting impact on the world later in life. Story 20. Pillow fighting is a recognized sport in Canada. It was founded in Toronto in 2004 by the Pillow Fighting League. Story 21. Scientists have discovered that rats love playing hide and seek and squeal with joy when finding or being found. Story 22. My boyfriend has panic and anxiety disorders. Whenever he has a panic attack, one of our cats sits on him and purrs loudly. It comforts and calms him, and we joke that she is our little support animal. She is very attuned to our emotions. When my grandmother passed away and I was very sad, she would not leave me alone. She would sit next to me in silence or occasionally let out a small mew to let me know she was still there. In conclusion, Even if you are having a terrible day, your pet still loves you. Story 23. 1. A penguin was once knighted in Norway. 2. Blind people can smile even if they have never seen one. It is human nature. 3. The voice actors for Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse married in real life. Story 24. Admitting you are wrong does not show weakness. It is a necessary step to become better. Story 25. Liechtenstein once deployed 80 men to protect the border against Austria. Despite their worries, they saw no combat. When they called it a day, they returned home with 81 men because an Italian man had joined them and wanted to live in Liechtenstein. They made a friend along the way. Story 26. An eiderdown comforter by Maddox sells for $16,000. Eiderdown is harvested by collecting it from the nest of the eider, making it the only down product that does not harm the bird. Story 27. It does not matter how old you are. It is still okay to hug a teddy bear or a soft, comforting toy of your choice when you are heartbroken and need someone to cry on. Edited to add. Since so many are sharing the identity and stories of their stuffed friends, I am in my late 30s. My teddy is probably just under 30. He once echoed, but his voice is long gone. The light on his chest no longer works. Removing the electronics made him more cuddly. He is missing an eye, has a burn on his forehead from falling on a lamp bulb, and is a bit threadbare in places. He sits on the headboard of my bed because he is a bit fragile these days, only coming down for damp cuddles on especially painful and lonely occasions. To clarify for younger people, heartbreak does not always mean a breakup. Story 28. I heard a cat meowing outside today. I went out to say hi, and it came right up and flopped down on the sidewalk in front of me. I gave it scritches. Story 29. Think of all the worst days of your life. You have made it through every single one of them and are still going strong. There is always another day on the other side. Story 30. If you have lost someone and you feel that they are completely gone from your life, think about the impact they had on you, your loved ones, and others. That impact continues to live on and will not die with them. The chain of life goes on. Story 31. Existing is hard, but most things around you are also alive and going through their own cycles. In a way, you are in this together. Story 32. Malala Yousafzai, who was shot by the Taliban for insisting on going to school, recently completed her final exams at the University of Oxford. Story 33. Whenever I have experienced heartbreak or something scary or intimidating, I remind myself I am not the first person to go through it. I find that comforting. I am not the first person to be scared or sad. Thousands of others have gotten through similar experiences, so if they could get through it, I can too. I say this because I find it comforting when I need to cope. That does not mean it will work for everyone, and I do not mean to imply that my feelings are invalid because others have had the same experience. Rather, thousands of people have felt this way and have learned how to cope, navigate, and heal, so I draw inspiration from them. This is one tool in my coping toolbox. Thank you for the awards. That is very kind of everyone. Story 34. You are not as bad or as troubled as you imagine. Story 35. No one remembers all the foolish things you did as a teenager. Story 36. Given all the atoms in the universe were formed in the first stars and are recycled in various ways, every atom in our bodies has already experienced billions of years of its own history. It is plausible those atoms will eventually become part of someone else in the future and will continue to exist in various forms, transforming continuously until the end of time. In this way, we are connected to something effectively eternal, and our ultimate fate may be to be spread across the stars. Depending how deep you want to get, there is also a very small chance that your pattern of deoxyribonucleic acid could form entirely by chance again, creating someone who is biologically you but with a whole new set of memories, experiences, and history. Basically, everyone and everything is connected. None of this is based on religion or wishful thinking. It is established and current scientific fact. Story 37. No matter how anxious or ridden by fear you feel, every one of us is the genetic descendant of a line of survivors stretching back hundreds of thousands of years. Each of us descends from people who made the right intuitive moves, survived great hardships, and passed their genes on. On a biological level, you can relax into a trust that when the moment comes and you face your biggest challenge, you will be able to draw on a deep reservoir of shared human consciousness that says, now it's time to make the next move and we can do this. Elizabeth Gilbert. Story 38. Everyone fears not fitting in, and that fear makes people the same. Story 39. Vincent van Gogh did not start painting until his late 20s. Joanne Kathleen Rowling did not publish Harry Potter until her late 30s. Samuel Leroy Jackson did not get his first big role until his 40s. It is never too late to be who you might have been. Story 40. The United States had a black president for a longer period than the Confederacy existed. Story 41. People see you 20% more attractive than you see yourself. Edit. I did not know so many people needed to see this. It breaks my heart that people do not believe they are good-looking. In reality, you are sexy. Love yourself. Accept yourself. If you cannot, I will make you love yourself. Story 42. During the Second World War, a Muslim man owned a mosque in Paris. After France was occupied by the Germans, French Jews were being killed. The man offered every Jew he could find shelter in his mosque and handed out false Muslim certificates so they would not be questioned. He saved over 400 lives. No one is your enemy except those you convince yourself are. Story 43. The desert rain frog is a thing. Story 44. If you are ever feeling lonely, remember that there are billions of cells in your body, and all of them care about you. Story 45. No one is judging you. They are too busy worrying about whether they themselves are being judged. Story 46. My country is pushing for a series of laws that would make ecocide, the destruction of ecosystems, a punishable crime. Story 47. When I sit on the couch, my dog likes to cuddle between me and the cushion and sleep with his head on my shoulder. Story 48. Since animals have evolved alongside humans for thousands of years, they have learned to show their feelings toward us. Dogs wag their tails, lick you, step on your feet, press their bodies against your legs, and lie on you to show affection and be physically close to you. Cats make eye contact and slowly blink to convey comfort and contentment. They headbutt you as a form of a hug, groom you as they would a kitten, and rub their scent on you to say this is my human, which reassures them of the bond. Cows also groom people and enjoy being petted because it is relaxing and shows they trust you. Elephants become excited and happy when interacting with humans. To them, we are like dogs are to us. They often find us endearing and want to play with and be petted. Story 49. You always have a second chance as long as you want to get better. Story 50. When the fuel gauge first reads empty, you usually have 50 to 60 miles of fuel left. Story 51. You can tell whether a newborn is sick by looking at the color of the mother's breast milk. When a newborn is ill or has an infection, the composition of the mother's breast milk changes, so it produces immune cells to fight the infection. This can occur when cells are transmitted from the baby's saliva during breastfeeding. Story 52. It is estimated that the cells in your body are replaced every 10 years, so you get a fresh start. Story 53. Spiders cannot fly. Let us all take a moment and appreciate this fact. Story 54. There is another person in the world whose heartbeat is synchronized with yours. It helps me sleep at night. Story 55. Despite the fact that the universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old, you managed to exist around the same time as Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers. Story 56. If only 1% of the world's population liked you, that would still mean 70 million people like you. Story 57. Toads can eat bread and toast. Holy shit. 5,000. Thank you, you very kind strangers. Story 58. We were born into arguably the best point in human history. True, we have a whole slew of troubles. These problems are minor compared to the plagues, social Darwinism, and the much worse quality of life people had 100 years ago. We still have plagues, racial bias, and hatred. But we are fortunate to live in a time when so many strides toward equality have been made over the past century. Except black licorice. Unfortunately, we are still in that era. Apparently, I have summoned a small army of black licorice supporters. In my opinion, it tastes like chewy candy for kids, but you are entitled to your own preference. There are too many of them. One of them gave me an award, which is cool, but my offhand comment has awakened the black licorice forces. I may not make it. Story 59. The world is more literate, healthier, and better fed than at any time in human history. The percentage of people who starve to death has been declining for years. You are less likely to be assaulted or robbed than your parents were. Story 60. Nothing is permanent. Even if you feel hopeless, everything may seem unbearable, and even serious mistakes will pass. Story 61. Many people suffer from loneliness. If you feel lonely, you are not alone. Story 62. We are made of star matter, and that has always comforted me. Story 63. Every second you live on Earth is one that no one has ever lived before, so you are making history with each moment. Story 64. Whatever has happened to you in your life, you've made it this far. Well done. Story 65. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Max Ehrmann, Desiderata. Story 66. When you sleep, your mind enters a peaceful state of rest, allowing you to relax after a hard day's work. Story 67. No matter how bad things are, someone will come along on AskReddit and post the opposite of a hugely popular question within a day or so. Story 68. Every cell in our bodies contains molecules that were something else in the past. They might have been in your parents' cells, in the food you ate, or in the cultivated land. You can apply the same reasoning across time. Your cells might contain molecules that were once part of an ancient Roman soldier's spear. I find that amazing. Story 69. Do not feel bad the next time you make a mistake. Every living thing is the result of chance. Evolution was a series of accidental changes at the cellular level. It is natural to make mistakes. Story 70. Even the most attractive people have foul-smelling flatulence. Many have experienced accidental fecal leakage. Story 71. The vast majority of people are decent. We do not need to find meaning. We create it ourselves. Everything that matters is meaningful to someone. Everything that is beautiful in someone's eyes. The universe does care. We are the part that cares. Story 72. Nearly everybody commenting here would enjoy Sagan's Billions and Billions. Story 73. When you were born, you were the youngest person in the world. Story 74. There is no inherent purpose in life. That seems awful, but think about it for a minute. Any goal, purpose, achievement, victory, or lesson is yours. No one is handing you a half-completed work of art and telling you to finish it. When you face the end, your fate and your victories belong to you and no one else. You are free. Story 75. I hope these are comforting to others. They certainly are to me. I never met my paternal grandfather, Gil. He died before I was born. When I got married, my father gave me Grandpa Gil's wedding band because I did not have one. Grandpa Gil's ring fit me perfectly without alteration. I have recently developed an interest in woodworking, particularly with hand tools. For my birthday this year, my parents gave me some tools that belonged to my grandfather. When I picked them up, I felt a strong connection to a man I never met, and the thought that his wedding band was reunited with objects it had touched more than 40 years earlier brought tears to my eyes. The point is, you are connected to the people who came before you in ways that might never occur to you. You are one in a long line of unique, fascinating human lives stretching back to the beginning of time. How cool is that? Story 76. I am 19 weeks pregnant today, so my miscarriage rate has dropped to 0.1%. After undergoing 6 rounds of infertility treatments and 2 miscarriages, this statistic is very comforting to me. Story 77. Even if I lose everyone and everything, I will always have myself. Story 78. The original poster asked for comforting, hopeful facts. Here are some examples. Scientists have found bacteria that can eat plastic. The ozone hole over the Arctic has healed. Drones delivering soap bubbles can pollinate crops when bees are absent. A scientific study finds people naturally try to do the right thing. Clustered, regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats is a remarkable gene editing technology with the potential to transform medicine. A new method allows growing crops during winter, helping feed the world. Story 79. Statistically speaking, the world has never been better. Extreme poverty is collapsing everywhere. War is at an all-time low. Racism is fading in most countries. If you feel the world is messed up, that is good news. It means this progress is not nearly enough, and people are trying to make things even better. Story 80. Almost everything on the internet remains. This means that hundreds of years from now, we will be able to look back at tweets from past celebrities and world leaders. Imagine if we had social media 500 years ago. We could see history as it happened. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.